Hey guys, it's me. I'm back again with another video. The title of this video is going to be George Floyd and situations like his in the ghetto. George Floyd and situations like his in the ghetto. The purpose of this video is to give my personal opinion on how we as a national Black community who are primarily the descendants of slaves, how we can handle situations like George Floyd that happen predominantly in the inner cities. You know, events and situations like that typically happen in, what they call quote unquote the inner cities. You're talking about your Floridas, your Jacksonville, Floridas, your New Orleans, your Detroits, your New York Cities, just different places like that. Houston's, how we as Black men and Black women should handle situations like that. Because I'm starting to see, not starting, I've been seeing an epidemic on the way brothers and sisters improperly handle situations like George Floyd or even Eric Garner. What I want to do is, first and foremost, I want to give a disclaimer. This video is by no means, I repeat, by no means condoning violence against law enforcement officials, law enforcement officers, security guards. I'm not condoning violence against those guys, but I am offering an alternative to situations like Eric Garner and George Floyd. And what I mean by that is there's an epidemic in this country, and not just in this country, it's nationwide, because I see a lot of videos on national TV shows, and the same thing happens. Police officers will be choking out or physically abusing, people within our communities. And when I say our communities, I'm talking about Black people. I'm not talking about melanated people. I'm talking specifically about Black people. When you see police officers choking out one of your homeboys, it makes no sense for 10 to 20 grown men to be standing around and watching police officers choke the life, literally murder and choke the life out of one of your quote unquote boys right in front of you. And you got 15 or 20 grown men standing around like a bunch of lost kittens or lost puppy dogs. That doesn't make any sense. In what world does that happen? I'll tell you what world, our world, which is ass backwards or bass backwards, however you want to say it. I think that we as a community need to take the initiative in situations like that. And what I mean is, you don't have to raise the level of aggression to deadly violence. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not condoning violence on law enforcement officials. What I'm saying is, if you see if you see Eric Garner getting choked out, or you see George Floyd getting choked out, and they look like they're in physical respiratory distress, you ask the officers, whether it's kindly or unkindly, you even if you have to scream it, hey, he can't breathe, you have every right to detain him and to arrest him. Get off of his neck. Take your knee off of his neck. You make that clear several times. Get your knee off of his neck, off of his spinal cord. He can't breathe. If officers do not comply, you have to remember, brothers, you have to remember, I call it the zoo theory or the jail theory. If you ever watch a jailhouse, the guards don't run that place. The inmates run that place. It's the same thing with a zoo. You have 2 or 3 humans walking around a lion's cage with flimsy little sticks. And they control a pack of 7 or 8 or 10 lions with a flimsy little 3 or 4 foot stick with a whip on the end. Those lions have no freaking clue how powerful they are. And that's the same thing in the black community. We have no clue. We're just like those lions in a zoo, or a polar bears, those polar bears, or those grizzly bears that are trained to be in movies. They have no idea, no clue on just how much power and strength they have. They've been so mentally brainwashed and subliminally programmed that they have no clue how powerful they are. If one lion just realized how powerful they are, the tide would turn. And it's the same thing in the ghetto. You got 3 officers surrounded by 25 black men that are screaming like a bunch of chicks. Get off of him, get off of him. And 7 or 8 of them are holding cameras. At what point do one of you guys get the nerve and the guts to put your camera down and say, officer, you can arrest him, but please, you have a deadly hold on a vital organ, which is his neck. The neck isn't a vital organ itself, but it contains several vital blood vessels. You can't mess around with people's necks and people's heads. You can twist the person's arm all around. That's not a fatal thing. You can twist their arm behind their back until the arm breaks. That's not going to kill a person. I can't remember the last time I've ever heard of anybody dying from a twisted wrist or a twisted arm or even a broken arm. That's not going to kill a person like Eric Garner or George Floyd. But what is going to kill them is a 200-pound man putting all his force in a person's neck, or a 6'1", 220-pound man with a death chokehold on a person like Eric Garner who weighs 350 pounds. At what point are you brothers going to toughen up and get physical with these cops? I'm not saying pull out guns and shoot these cops. I'm saying that if I'm standing there and George Floyd is screaming and crying and praying to his dead mother, he's praying to his dead mother that he can't breathe and he thinks he's dying, I'm going to tell the officer, please, sir, get your knee off of his neck. I don't know what he did. I don't want to tamper with this arrest, but I'm not going to sit here while you kill this man in front of me. The officer has 2 times to listen to my request. The 3rd time, I'm taking action. That's just me. That's what we have to do. People don't respect begging. You have to do 2 things. You have to make it a physical situation or a monetary situation. It's just that simple. physical situation or a monetary situation. People don't respond to anything else other than that. Peaceful protests don't work. Ask Colin Kaepernick how that worked for him. Ask Martin Luther King Jr. how that worked for him. I've never heard of a war in the span of human history that was won by non-violent tactics. If you can name a war that was won by non-violent tactics, let me know. And let me know how that went. In any event, if you see police officers killing an individual in front of you, instead of standing around like a bunch of bitches, somebody get in the game and stop the officer from killing your cousin. Stop the officer from killing your brother, your sister, your mother, your father. It doesn't have to be a life or death situation. Just get the knee off the back of the person's neck. That's all I'm saying. Once that's accomplished, take them to jail. We can live to fight another day. We can handle it in court. What you can't live to fight another day and what you can't handle in court is a dead body. And then behind the scenes, you get a $50,000 settlement for that dead body. Really? Think about what I'm saying, brothers. And if you have any questions, put it in the comment section. Peace.